What it do, baby? It's your boy Baki back with another one. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be doing what you would call, I guess, a retro review in modern times. I've been trying to beat a lot of games that I missed out on as a kid that were really popular, or people that always tell me, oh, you got to play this game or whatever, and I missed out on them. So that's kind of what I've been exploring somewhat this year. Today I would like to talk about God Hand. Now, God Hand came out from Clover's Studio, I believe the same people who made Okami, and Okami is obviously a great game. Another game I never finished. I got really close to beating Okami, but I never beat it, so I might end up tackling that next. But I did just finish God Hand, and let me tell you, my experience with that game is, I think that game's absolutely incredible. That game might go down as possibly one of my favorite beat-em-ups I think I've ever played. I'd go as far as to say it's more than a beat-em-up, it's almost a hack and slash. And the freedom that you get in that game is very, very interesting. The aspects that I find interesting about the game is, one, the cutscenes are all hilarious. It's actually giving you something to watch because you never know what's going to ensue in said cutscene. There's just wild things that happen in this game, from Zoo Ranger, Power Rangers, or not even Zoo Ranger, but just Super Sentai type Rangers in the game, and people taking buses to get out of a scene, or just crazy things. I mean, it's just filled with such randomness in the cutscenes alone, that it almost gives you a reason to watch, even if the story itself is, kind of whatever. It's essentially about, I think his name's Rio. I'm almost positive his name's Rio, but Rio's got a one god hand, another guy has a devil hand. You're slowly taking out the bosses that run around until you get to those two, and then you do your thing. Now, what's interesting about the game is it kind of handles like a tank game. It almost handles, arguably, kind of like Resident Evil, OG Resident Evil 4, where you're very much on tank controls, and then you have like a button that allows you to do a quick turn, and then from there you have 5 or 6 different moves you press with square, and then you have 4 or 5 moves you press with back square to do different moves and abilities. Now, what's interesting is you create your own abilities in this game, and I just think that that's so unique because that allows for so many ways to play through the game, right? What I did this time was I just went for like optimization and jab. So, I started off with the left hook, right hook, left this, right this, kind of like da 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 da. But then eventually you get moves that are multiple hits. So now he's doing left da 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 da. So I'm hitting somebody like 18 times, so they're like auto stun. And then they have such unique ways that the enemies play where they're using block, and it's just a very creative give and go, man. And the game was also very fair with checkpoints. I mean, I absolutely enjoyed this game from start to finish. I don't want to stay too heavy on these games, or do like these deep dive reviews where we got to talk about every single thing. I just really want to say, is the game worth it to revisit in modern time? Absolutely. If you can deal with acquiring like a set of skills with controls, and you're able to kind of move and meld through games, and whatever the controls that the game gives you, you adapt to, you'll be absolutely fine in this game. And by the second or third level, the game really opens up, not necessarily gameplay wise, it does, but it opens up your brain for what you can do, because you're not used to playing a beat 'em up like that. So the first 2 levels feel really awkward, which is probably why IGN gave it a bad review back in the day. I really do think that's why, because it's like, they gave it a bad review because they probably didn't understand it in the first few levels, and then they never really took the time to understand it. But by stage 3, bro, you've had so many breaks. They give you like these little segments and chapters, almost like a Resident Evil game. You know how like RE5 is like chapter 4, but -1, -2, -3. It's almost like that, but it doesn't tell you that, but you go to the map menu and then you progress forward. So it allows for these breaks and these moments to go do other things, go to the shop, go mess around with your moves, go bet on Chihuahua races, which is super random, go to the fight shop, maybe test out your skills there. It allows you to play around with things and experience a little bit more in the game. So it's a fun little side hub world that you always get access to within 5 to 7 minutes of beating people up. You'll run through a bunch of baddies, go through a couple doors, map. Run through a bunch of baddies, couple doors, map. Run through baddies, map. 4 or 5 times until the boss of that area. So I think it was an absolute incredible game, man. I had a straight blast playing this game, and I highly recommend it. The only reason I even hopped on this game was because I'm doing the From Software marathon, or not marathon. I'm sorry, it's not a marathon anymore. A legacy. I'm doing the From Software legacy where I'm beating every single From Software game they've ever made, and we're on the tail end of the game, so I'm starting to get close to the Souls games. But right now we're on like Japanese only games that they only made in Japan. From Software made this game called Kingsfield Additional 1 and 2. We just beat 1, and I did it all myself, basically no guide, no nothing, using like Google translations, writing my own maps and that kind of thing. So it was really exhausting brain wise. So I was like, I want to play a fun beat 'em up that I haven't played. You know, I've beaten all the Devil May Cries and, you know, stuff like that. So I was like Ninja Gaidens and stuff like that. So I'm like, let me try something different. And that's how I found the game. And that kind of spawned the idea of like talking about it with you guys. Like, do you guys enjoy God Hand? Was it one of your favorites? I know it's been talked about, you know, ridiculously across the internet, but this is my first time actually exploring and playing it. I just never got around to it, you know. So I really appreciated it, and I thought it was amazing. Yeah. Is it worth it in modern time? Absolutely. Find a way to play it if you can. Highly recommend playing it on the emulation if you can, because you can really doll it up and make it look clean. And it ran beautifully. It ran flawlessly. I had no issues. We had a couple little pop-ins and stuff like that, but I'm running on a super nightly version of the PS2, so don't do that. But yeah, man, that's gonna be it for me talking about this game. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was amazing. That's it, bro. I thought it was incredible, man. I highly recommend God Hand. Clover Studio, remaster this game, please. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. There should be a bunch of vids coming out. Peace. And they're off, and it's fucking goddamn #1, of course, because his odds are so good. But he could trip, though. There are bananas on the field. Damn, he put on the Jets. He said, nigga. Oh! He fucking tripped! Oh, shit! Oh! Let's go. You just won me 13 G's, bro. Good shit. Drew's the first one to win one of those.